I'm Dr. Arien Anri. I'm a medical doctor, but I specialize in natural, holistic, integrative medicine. I also do functional medicine, and then I'm a specialist holistic health counselor. The newer tests, genetic screening tests, actually test 120 genes, whereas before people went when there was a really strong family history. For instance, cystic fibrosis or any genetic weakness could be then tested even before the fetus was born. However, nowadays, up to 120 genes can be tested, which makes it a lot more practically applicable so that we can know what are our genetic potential weaknesses and how can we manage it. And I want to emphasize that we do the test not to make people feel afraid and go into deep fear about the risks. These are potential risks. Some risks are low, some are moderate, and some are high. And that's exactly where we come in. If you know what they are, not to go into fear, but then to understand that there are ways to manage it. Because if you manage it, the potential risk that might end up in disease later on is exactly the preventative side, so that it doesn't express in disease or potential disease.
So I'm going to start with a bit of basics. So I'm going to look at genetics 101. Imagine an orange that you cut in half. In the cell you will find a nucleus. So in the nucleus all of us have 46 chromosomes. If we then zoom into the chromosome, you will find the DNA double-strand helix. I'm going to use language as an analogy to explain this so that it makes a bit more sense. So if we look at language, for example English, the genetic code will be the genetic language. Now, like any language, it contains words. So the genetic words we refer to as genetic sequences. So these code for specific functions in the human body. So this make up all functions that we do find in the body. If we then break that even down, like in any word, it contains letters. So luckily the genetic code only has 4 letters, making it very easy to understand. So the first one is A for adenine, T for thymine, G for guanine, and C for cytosine. So in the body, only G and C can bind, and only A and T can bind. So they bind in different ways to form different words, making up specific functions. So if I can use an example, let's use the word crate, for example. If we then change the C to a G, it becomes great. So as you can see, it changes the meaning completely. Okay, the same happens with genetic words. So we have variations, so these 4 letters can then make up different words coding for thousands of genes. And when we look at the differences between humans, it's called single nucleotide polymorphisms, or SNPs. So these are the variations we find. For example, where there should perhaps be an A, it can be changed to a T or a G or a C. And based on this, it can actually determine your health risk for specific lifestyle diseases. And these include high blood pressure, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, insulin-resistant diseases, etc.
What we actually do is we emphasize and focus on the epigenetic environment of the cell. Now, if you go back to what Anri said, we look at the orange, we slice it through, we look at the cell from a full frontal view, and the peel of the orange is then the cell membrane. Now that's the epigenetic side, and that's the true brain of the cell, not the nucleus that's inside with the DNA genetic material. So what we do is we help people then manage that epigenetic environment. For instance, how you breathe, how much oxygen your cells get to function properly, the water you drink, the quality of the water, that's under your control. Then also, if we look at informational substances, those would be your thoughts and emotions that become the molecules of emotion that bind on their specific receptors on the cell membrane, and that sends the command through to the cell. So the genetic screening really tells us a lot about where to focus with your health profile. And again, what we've picked up mostly is stress, that there's high stress level, so we teach you how to relax. So people must not go into thinking, oh my goodness, I am so not well. It's exactly the opposite. We can help you then to become optimally healthy and well.